Season 3 marks a tonal shift for Bridgerton. Instead of explosive scandal or enemies to lovers' tension, the story leans into quiet yearning, self-worth, and emotional honesty, centering on two characters who have long lived in the margins of the ton, Penelope Featherington and Colin Bridgerton. Penelope at the start, alone, wounded, and determined. The season opens with Penelope at her lowest point socially and emotionally. Her friendship with Aloys is fractured after Aloys learns Penelope is Lady Whistledown. Colin, whom Penelope has loved for years, once publicly dismissed the idea of courting her. Her family continues to belittle her, reinforcing her belief that she is invisible and unworthy. Rather than retreat, Penelope makes a pivotal decision. She will marry not for romance, but for freedom. She wants independence, security, and a life beyond her mother's control. This motivation gives her a sharper edge and a quiet resolve we haven't seen before. She also reclaims her power through Whistledown, though now the column feels less like mischief and more like a burden she carries alone. Colin's return, confidence on the surface, lost in Declan returns from his travels changed, or so it appears. He's charming, stylish, and admired by the ton, but beneath the confidence, he feels purposeless compared to his accomplished siblings. His travels haven't given him identity, only distraction. He masks insecurity with flirtation and performance. Importantly, Colin initially views Penelope as safe, someone who knows him, supports him, and expects nothing romantic. When Penelope asks for help attracting suitors, he agrees, never realizing he's setting the stage for his own emotional upheaval. Lessons that turn into Metecalin begins coaching Penelope in how to speak confidently, flirt, and engage potential matches. These moments are intimate but understated. Prolonged eye contact, physical closeness that lingers just a second to long conversations that feel more emotionally naked than either expects. Penelope starts to bloom under this attention. Others begin noticing her wit and charm, which unsettles Colin in ways he doesn't yet understand. For the first time, Penelope is being seen by others and Colin feels left behind. The carriage scene, emotional point of no return. The emotional dam breaks after Colin watches Penelope gain attention from another suitor. His jealousy forces him to confront a truth he has been avoiding. He just care for Penelope. He cannot stand the idea of losing her. Their carriage encounter is intense, vulnerable, and unguarded. Colin finally admits his feelings, not with grand speeches, but with desperation and honesty. For Penelope, this moment is both a dream realized and a new fear unlocked because she knows something Colin does not. Engagement and the shadow of Whistledown. Colin proposes, and Penelope accepts, but the engagement is immediately haunted by Lady Whistledown. Penelope is torn between her love for Colin, her identity, power, and voice as Whistledown. When Colin discovers the truth, the fallout is painful and complicated. His anger is not just about deception, it is about insecurity. Penelope has a purpose and a voice that commands the ton. Colin fears he is merely standing in her shadow. Their conflict is not explosive, but deeply emotional, rooted in bruised pride, fear, and the struggle to redefine masculinity and partnership. The Queen's pressure and Penelope's show a scene. Charlotte's relentless pursuit of Whistledown escalates the stakes. Penelope realizes that hiding is no longer sustainable. For the first time, she considers owning her identity publicly rather than sacrificing it for love. In a bold, unprecedented move, Penelope reveals herself as Lady Whistledown to the ton. This moment reframes her entire arc. She stops apologizing for her intelligence. She claims her ambition without shame. She rewrites the narrative that once controlled her. Resolution. A partnership of equals. Colin ultimately chooses growth over fear. He comes to understand that loving Penelope means celebrating her power, not diminishing it. Their marriage is not the end of her story, but the beginning of a partnership rooted in honesty and respect. Penelope continues writing not anonymously, not in hiding, but openly and on her own terms. Themes that define Season 3: female agency and authorship, friends to lovers, intimacy, identity vs. societal expectations, masculinity and vulnerability, love as partnership, not rescue. Season 3 is quieter, more introspective, and more emotionally mature than previous seasons. It's less about spectacle and more about choosing oneself and choosing love without losing identity.